Yeah, so we've got Fernando Rausell that is going to represent Libelium. So again, no one like Fernando to present the company and the products that they are bringing here to the US. Fernando?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, guys. How are you? Let me just start sharing my presentation. I'm just having a look on the information. Okay, here we are. I think we are all seeing the presentation, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I would like to thank, of course, Maria, Ethex. I would like to thank Michael and SelectChicago for giving us the chance to be here today and presenting our company to you guys. Let's start, first of all, with an introduction of myself, and then if you can move forward and go in deep about Libelium. So my name is Fernando Rausell, and I'm part of the business development and ecosystem department here at Libelium. And my role is basically to increase the ecosystem of partners that we have around the world and look for mid to long-term business opportunities in different verticals that we work in. And with regards to the to Libelium, I think it is important to start with a picture of the whole company, and then we can move forward. So let's jump into it. So Libelium is a 14-year-old company, IoT company based in Spain. We are actually based in Zaragoza, which is in the northeast of Spain. It's between Madrid and Barcelona. And what we do here at Libelium is to manufacture high-value IoT sensor nodes. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we are able to provide a sensor node, which is something like a data logger, that is able to support many different kind of sensors that are able to be installed and to monitor many different parameters in many different verticals, such as smart cities, air quality monitoring, water quality monitoring, noise monitoring. So there are many different possibilities that we can have using this technology. We have customers in more than 120 countries, and we are actually a reference in the IoT sector. But we are actually, that's this reference in the first part of the value chain of an IoT project, which is the hardware. We'll see that later on to go in deep about that. And we are actually a reference, not because we say that, but different IoT analysts such as Gartner and Forrester has referred Libelium as one of the key players in the IoT ecosystem, specifically in this first part, which is the hardware side. And we've even named as a Spanish unicorn from the Financial Times in 2016. And one of the reasons of being named, thank you, Rita. One of the reasons for being named or referenced unicorn and to be referenced as a key player in the ecosystem is because we have a proven and certified and robust technology that actually, as you can see there, I wanted to share with you some of the certifications that we have for the US market. And we have third generation of products nowadays, and even fourth generation of the different products that we have. And I would like to finish with the importance of the wide network of partners that we have around the world that will complement our current business model. Okay, we provide, so I said, this first part of the value chain, so then we need to rely on this ecosystem to then provide complete solutions to customers. And in order to explain that and to be all clear about all these IoT value chains that I'm naming a lot, I would like to go and jump to the next slide so you can see that straight to the point. So you can see that we have the sensor nodes, which is actually what Libelium is providing nowadays. Sensor nodes that are monitoring different parameters in many different environments, as I said, that will send information through different communication protocols to an endpoint that could be the cloud. In this part of the value chain is what magic happens. You know, everybody talk about analytics and the analysis of all these data, but it is very important to have a robust structure and a robust architecture with good sensors that will give you precise and value data that then will be treated. So you have to have good data to then have good analytics and take decisions based on that information. So that's very important. So now that we have that we know who Libelium is and which part of the value chains we cover, I think it is important to go and see why are we actually named or are we referred as a key player in the IoT market. And one of the main characteristics or the main reasons of that is the interoperability. This is one of the key reasons or the key things that differentiates our hardware platform with the rest of the competence in the market worldwide. So what this word means is that we can connect any sensor that we have in our portfolio, sensors for air quality, water quality, as I said, we can send all that information gathered through any communication protocol in the market. We all know about Wi-Fi, 4G, Bluetooth, but we have to take into account also the most demanded ones nowadays in IoT projects, such as LoRaWAN, Sigfox, narrowband IoT. And then we have like the third part of this cheese you see there is that we also give our customers the chance or the possibility to send that information to any cloud platform in the market. So we are completely agnostic in this sense. We are completely open and modular, as you see, giving our customers all the possibilities to send the information and to gather all that information and then analyze that information in any cloud platform in the market. Okay. So I think it's also important to highlight and to name, as I said, the wide ecosystem of partners that we work with. Some of the companies you see there will be interesting for you, and some of them are Americans, such as Microsoft Azure, Google. We collaborate also with Amazon, AWS, ThinkWorks as a PTC company. So I would like to highlight which are actually our main customers, which are actually system integrators. This is one of our main partners, but actually one of our main customers. This player purchase hardware from us and then integrate this part in a bigger solution to then provide that to the end customer. So we can think about smart city projects in which a big integrator will purchase a hardware from Libelium and then integrate that in a bigger solution, providing mixing data from sensors with video cameras and all the technology deployed to then provide that to the end customer. That would be the city council, for example, of Chicago, and you will be able to then show and see all that data in a dashboard that this company will provide. Okay. Then we collaborate also with software partners that just provide that last part of the value chain. Okay, the dashboard, the analytics. We work with connectivity providers that provide, as the word says, that connectivity, that path, that technology that would allow you to send the information captured from the sensors to the cloud. And of course, we collaborate with different hardware partners. It is important also to highlight that we do not manufacture the sensors at Libelium. What we do is we integrate sensors from third-party suppliers that are actually experts in different areas, such as agriculture, air quality, noise monitoring. And we integrate that in our main hub, in our main data logger, that we then capture that information and send it, as I said, to the cloud. So now we know who we are, which part of the ecosystem we take, who are our partners. Let's go straight to the point to what we actually do at Libelium. So I said we are actually hardware manufacturers. So I wanted to show you like a picture of the main devices that we manufacture, and I just wanted to say the main ones because, as I said, our technology is so modular and allows you to attack many different verticals and possibilities that I wouldn't fill the slide with all the possibilities of the different verticals available. So I wanted to highlight just the verticals in which we work best, in the verticals in which actually are recognized in the world. And some of them are right there. We are a reference worldwide in smart agriculture projects, smart cities, smart environment, smart water, and smart parking. You can see that some of the devices, as you can see, all of them share the same black box as you see there with different tentacles that are actually the sensors. So the hub will be the same for all of them, but the sensors will be different depending on the vertical that we are working at. You see here some water quality monitoring sensors. You see here some sensors for agriculture purposes. and you can see here from, for example, the most different one, which is the one for detection of parking spots availability. So now, what I would like to do is to show you some examples of real deployments of this technology that I'm showing now to you. But I would like to do so through presenting one our main partner and one of our most important distributors around the world, which is actually Aridea Solutions, which is, as I said, our key distributor in the US, and actually our key system integrator partner also in the US. So Aridea Solutions is a company based in Charleston, in West Virginia. And as I said, they are a distributor and at the same time an integrator partner. And what does that mean? Well, apart from being the face of Libelium in the US, and actually giving customers the possibility to purchase Libelium's hardware directly in the US, they also provide a lot of high-value services added to this hardware to customers. They can also provide integration, installation of devices, maintenance, software capabilities. So this is something that we value very much about our partners worldwide, and this is one of the reasons that we have successful projects here in the US alongside our partner. They have a broad experience in different IoT verticals, especially in the environmental ones, as we will see in some minutes. And they are also even an authorized technical service, Libelium's technical service in the US, which is actually great because we can rely on them to provide an excellent technical support to our customers in the area. Okay. So let's go with some deployments done by Aridea and their customers right there in the US. Let's start first of all with the smart water deployment. This is actually a very interesting project. It was done in Ohio, in the Ohio River. And in this case, Aridea's customer, which actually was the US Corps of Engineers, contact them because they have a need of monitoring the environment in which the mussels in this Ohio River were actually living. They were concerned about some of the dredging activities that they were having there in the Ohio River, and they were concerned about the health of this mussel family there, or mussel population. So in this case, what Aridea provided was a buoy, as you can see in these pictures, in which they install the Libelium's hardware with different water quality monitoring sensors in order to monitor different parameters such as turbidity, dissolved oxygen, temperature in the water, in order to see how was this dredging activities affecting the quality of water and therefore affecting mussels. So all that information gathered by the sensors that will be there, as you can see in the buoy, will then be sent to a cloud and then be treated, analyzed, and provide information to the end customer so they can take the decisions that they think they must be taken in order to protect this population from mussels. So this is a very interesting project done in the smart water vertical. And I wanted also to show you another one in this same vertical because I think it's actually very exciting. It's very impressive. In this case, it was done in Alaska. Aridea's customer were the Alaskan authorities, and in this case, there was an issue because there was a natural gas leak was detected in the sea, and actually this natural gas leak was affecting the quality of life of the of the beluga whales that actually were living in that area. And in this case, Aridea did the same thing that they did in the mussel project and provided it just in a couple of weeks, a buoy with all the system already integrated, all the support, installation right there, straight to the point in Alaska, as you can see there. You can see some of our guys there installing the buoy in the sea. And I wanted to show you this picture just so you can see the complexity of the project, the complexity of the architecture. You see the buoy there with the sensors installed that had to send the information to a ship that actually that had a gateway there, receiving the information from the sensors and then send it to the cloud. So we needed to have a ship there because, as you see in this in the sea, we don't have any coverage, any 4G coverage. So there you can see the complexity of the project that they have to face. Okay, in this project. And now I'd like to jump to another case study done with Aridea. In this case, I wanted to show you this because it is very related to what we have to see nowadays in COVID-19 pandemic. And this shows how fast and how skilled are Aridea in the IoT field. In this case, what they did was to use an existing sensor that we used to use for agriculture purposes, actually to monitor soil temperature in certain crops. And what Aridea did was use this sensor that actually was very precise to use that for fever monitoring purposes with humans. It has very good precision. It's using an infrared technology. And the good thing about this device, as you can see there, is that this will be installed in a bracket. The sensors will be installed here at the top. And there is an indicator light and a sound also warning that will start to beep and will start to change the color of the light in case you have a certain level of temperature that will mean that you have a fever. So the good thing about this device is that you don't need to have any personal interaction. You don't need anyone with a temperature, pistol pointing to your forehead and being close to you with the risk that entails. But in this case, you just need to get your forehead really close to the sensor, and the device will monitor you in a question of 2-3 seconds. So Aridea was really fast with this combination of technology that they actually designed, and they have been very successful installing hundreds of these kits in the US in different public office administrations, and even in some big companies such as Toyota premises in Huntsville. So very, very nice projects that they've done with these devices. And then I'd like to see just 3 more cases, but in this case, not done by Aridea, just in order to share with you and to show you some variety of partners and countries and different verticals that we work in. And in this case, I wanted to show you smart city deployment. One of the most important and the most known projects that you can find in IoT are smart cities. We all know about that. So in this case, the project was done in Messina, in Italy. And the purpose of the project was to monitor many different parameters around the city, such as air quality, noise at certain parts of the city, water quality, and send that information to a central platform that actually has a really funny name. It's called DUDE. It's Digital Urban Data Environment, and this platform allowed citizens to see the information. It basically nearly in real time, accessing the city council's website. But at the same time, this platform gave an open API for local developers to then create applications over that data that the hardware of that Libelium's hardware was gathering for the city. So this is a very nice project that actually is going to scale what is something that we all want in smart city projects, not just fixed and look for POCs, but actually scale, which is actually great. You can see here some examples of the dashboard that you can see when accessing to the city council's website. I don't want to continue with deployment, in this case done in Spain. It was done in a city really close to ours in Spain. It's called Huesca. And actually, this is a very interesting project because it has a social approach, which is something that I like very much. IoT helping citizens. And in this case, we're talking about devices that are going to detect the occupancy of parking spots. But in this case, this deployment was done in the city, and 200 sensors were deployed in every disabled parking spot that you can find in the city. And at the same time, an application was created so that all the disabled citizens in the city can log in the applications, and then check the availability of the parking spots throughout the city in real time, even make reservations. And once they go there to the parking spot right there, the car will detect, the sensor will detect that the car is there. And then at the same time, that information will be sent to the police so that anyone unauthorized, anyone that is not logged in previously in that application and therefore is not something authorized to park there, will receive the fine, because somebody will go there to put a fine in at the screen of your car. So I like very much that social approach, and actually it was done quite recently, well before the pandemic. Now they have finished the deployment. Once we have had the chance to go outside our houses a little bit more. You can see here some photographs of the sensors deployed there. As you can see, this is a very simple sensor, just placed there in the middle of the parking spot, and then we'll send the information wirelessly to some gateways that will be deployed around the city. And let's just finish with another case study. In this case, in the agriculture vertical. Libelium is actually very powerful in this vertical. And in this case, the project that I wanted to show you was an interesting one done in Australia, actually in South Wales. And the objective of this project was to monitor the atmosphere and monitor the environment in which these crops and these plants were actually were growing. And at the same time, not just monitoring that, as you can see there, with the sensors deployed in the middle of the crops, and monitoring temperature, humidity, pressure, leaf wetness, soil moisture, soil temperature. But at the same time, what this customer did was actually even monitor the water quality that actually was the water that they were using to feed these plants, that then were monitored once they started to grow. So this is a very combination from start to the end of monitoring all the process, all the value chains from the water to the final crop. And well, this is basically the end of the presentation. But before finishing, I just wanted to highlight why we're actually looking for here in the US. As you've seen, you have some presence in the US through Aridea, but what we want to do is actually increase the ecosystem of partners that we have in the country. Look for new system integrators that want to purchase and integrate our hardware in their own solutions, in their own platforms, to then go to final customers in all the different verticals that you've seen there: agriculture, smart cities, water quality monitoring. And we actually want to become that technological partner that you are looking for, a reliable one, robust one, with European, Spanish technology, with a lot of experience, over 14 years in the market. We were since the beginning of IoT, when nobody knew about IoT. And what we basically want to do is, build strong collaboration with you guys. So thank you very much for your attention. And I remind you just also to answer any questions you could have now, but also please reach me in my email address that you can see here. And I will be glad to answer all your questions. Thank you, guys.
Great. Well, thank you, Fernando. And I'm going to bring Jess up, and we'd be 4 up at this point on that. And the first question I just had out of the box is, with a number of our constituents are municipalities, and a lot of them have basically green technology initiatives. And right now you're also saying you're looking for integrators, but would you also be looking at end users that are going back to understanding how your sensors work and looking at your case studies to be able to help them make the case studies to go get grants to implement smart cities in their cities?
Yeah, that's a good question, Michael. And the thing is that we do not provide the hardware; we also provide consultancy. So this is a good approach. Our main objective is to find system integrators that will allow us to provide the complete solutions to this city council that you were naming. But if we receive queries and doubts from these city councils that actually want to have this consultancy and advice about how to deploy, how to structure an IoT project, we actually do that, and we will help them to choose, the right communication protocol for sending the information, the right hardware, or if not, we do not provide that kind of hardware. We will even advise about which hardware partners we could recommend to them. So totally, yeah.
Yeah, could you also provide project management services for deployment?
As I said, just in this consultancy side, so we can provide like a picture of because as we've seen that not just in Spain, Europe, not a lot in the US, because as I've said, we work really basically everything through Aridea, so we don't have that feeling of the market that we actually want to have, in the near future. So we see that there is a lot of there is a lack of understanding. There is a lack of IoT knowledge in public and the public administration in general. So we are actually providing that consultancy that is needed to then build an IoT project that makes sense.
Okay, great. And I want to let Jessa come up and ask some questions as well. So Jessa, if you can turn back on your mic and your camera, and I'll have you ask a couple of questions.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Fernando. Your presentation was great. So you're looking for more partners in the US, as you said. Is there, and you cover a wide range of industries and verticals. Is there one in particular that you feel is a partner that is focused on a specific industry or vertical that would be your target, that's perhaps growing the fastest in IoT needs?
I think that the most interesting one for us nowadays would be agriculture and smart cities. Smart cities is like a broad concept that involves a lot of things. So in the smart cities, I'm talking about air quality monitoring and noise monitoring, parking spot detection, etc. So what we really want is to find all that pieces that will complement the one that we provide. So we need these companies that have all these capabilities of integrating different parts of value chains and then provide that to the end customer. Not just installation, but the maintenance, software capabilities, cloud platform to see the data from our sensors. And the verticals in which I see that we are actually more powerful and we are more interested in growing would be those two that I mentioned. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Yes, we had a student startup focusing on sensors in the agriculture space in our program recently. I think he was also zeroing in on the cannabis, the indoor greenhouse space, which I assume is probably of interest to you as well.
Yeah, we actually have a case study that we did with one of our previous partners in the US. We used to have that some years ago. Now this partner changed their business model and moved to another thing. But we did a lot of good projects of cannabis monitoring in the US. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Michael, back to you.
Okay. Great. And am I up? Yes. And I guess a question too, Fernando, I didn't know if you'd watched the GOO's presentation before coming along. So I didn't know if you've been working with how do you say it, Maria? Synblock and Hexa. And I didn't know if those are partners with you as well, since they do systems implementation across factories as a consultant, and they're also working with blockchain on the front end to keep your allocating the data so it's not immutable, or making it so it is not mutable. So I didn't know if you're already working with them as well.
Not yet, but I found it very interesting, and for sure we need to have a talk. And the thing is that we are now redefining, and most of all after this pandemic, in which we are actually still in the middle of it, we are now redefining some of the paths or the verticals in which we might start to focus more. And maybe the industrial side would be something that we would be interested in, and for sure the capabilities of our colleagues would be much appreciated for that.
And just if I may jump in, the other day, Michael and I were talking about water. and how important water is becoming, as you know, the challenges it poses, how the infrastructures are, and you know that might be an avenue that you have work on, and that might be worth exploring here in the area. Because I mean, Chicago being, you know, with the lake there, it doesn't mean that it hasn't challenges in water of its own. So, and Marco, you know, Michael knows the sector very well. I don't know your views, Michael.
Yeah, and I think some of it comes into, I'll call it a package solution for different people. And again, at the municipal level and the magnitude of it, when we're working with sensors and having technology that is, call it best in class, and defining what is best of class and understanding that the reliability is key, the amount of data points that is attaching is key, and also what we call on our side the moat. What is the IP that makes your sensors better than a Motorola sensor manufactured in Schaumburg? And you have a lot of different ideas behind that. And I think as you're starting to look at market penetration, it's defining what makes you different, what makes it sustainable, not sustainable from a not economic, but a environmental standpoint, but something that is a resilient model that lasts 10 years on a battery charge or something like that, to give them the value proposition of why your sensors and your solution is the preferred way to go. And so that would be just some feedback of when people are coming in and talking about that.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is that IoT, I think, is still not in an early stage, of course. It has grown over the years, but the thing is that there is a lot of lack of certifications and legislation just for the IoT.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that is one of the reasons that sometimes there is some reluctancy from certain customers in saying, okay, this is not very expensive. This is actually makes sense, but is it accurate enough? Is it does it fulfill all the requirements that I need to fulfill to provide that data and make decisions over that data? So this is something that will need to will change in the near future, and that we need to confirm and to be robust and offer robust technology to convince the end customers.
Yeah, I can see a lot of opportunities for piggybacking on the outcomes that are working on with your case studies, especially with what you did in Ohio. Makes a lot of sense with accessibility parking is going to be larger in the United States, but actually understanding how that technology can get transferred into other use cases and applied on some pilot projects. So city could actually understand, this is the outcome of the data I'm going to get. This is why this is important to to a municipality, and your vehicle is the vehicle that makes the most sense. And so, yeah, and Jessa, I just didn't know if you had any other questions you wanted to ask before we wrapped up, because I know we're over time today. And so, Jess, I'll give you the last word, and then we'll wrap.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. It was a great presentation, and really enjoyed the case studies and understanding some of the different applications. That was great.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, great. So, Maria, I'm going to turn this over to you. And before I turn it over to you, I'm going to thank everybody for presenting and being with us for the last 3 hours. Having M-Hub and Michael Rosen from Helix 51, Maura from the Illinois Venture Capital Association, Leslie Murphy from the Village of Skokie. And Maria, this has been a lot of fun working with you and Marta in the home office for the Spanish trade office in Chicago. I know I've spent a large amount of time the last 2 weeks helping put this together with you, and it's been a real pleasure. And I definitely look forward to working with you more. For the companies that presented today, I would also recommend going back through some of the other companies that have presented. A use case for both of you that would be good would be Bank Vault, which has frictionless authentication software. It's really nice. They've actually been a wonderful success story coming out of this program. So look for Graham's information in the exhibitor hall. And Maria, again, this has been wonderful. So I'll leave it to you to wrap us up for the day.
Well, actually, Michael, as you said, it's been a pleasure working with you. This is the first time we work with you. So this is the beginning of a love story. Great opportunity, great for us to present Spain, great for our companies. So I think that, once I wrap up, I will start thinking about the next issue and driver of our next presentation, if you allow us. So thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity. Hopefully we'll do more.
Wonderful. And with that, everybody, thank you so much for spending your Wednesday with us. Next month, we are going to be with the Will Cook Enterprise Zone, and we might actually be hybrid. We're still working out some details for that, so we may even have a live studio audience. And our featured country is Scotland. I've been interviewing, we have 10 companies battling to see who's going to be the 3 slots that get to present. And actually one of them, which I will want to encourage people to get to know once their information becomes active. And until then, I wish you all a great afternoon and dress warm. We got another week of cold weather. All right, so thank you guys.